Wow.
Wow, this is some really deep stuff.
I don't know what just happened, but something happened inside of me. Something snapped, something clicked. I wasn't expecting that
either. Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. It's beautiful.
Monster is like really small, but it had to become that to stop me.
And then the hurt child became present when you mentioned it. And I didn't realize this until now.
There were things that I didn't remember until now.
Funny. I haven't seen that before.
It feels like I'm the monster. I'm kind of seeing images of things. Of a world where they can exist.
This clarity brings all kinds of answers.
It's clear. She hugged me and then went back to her place, I guess, in my heart. Oh, it wants to come out. It wants to bippity boppity boop Cinderella me. She's melted into my chest. It's ooey gooey.
All week been finishing things, cleaning up more, started eating vegetables again last week. And it kind of just started happening.
It's almost like I just finished going through a meditation session. I feel light. When you hit that first joint, in the morning, and
I actually feel a lot more awake.
Yeah, I had an interview yesterday, so I just kind of was like, today I'm going to sleep in. I'm going to do nothing that has to do with job stuff and just give myself a break. I mean, I'll do work today, but it'll be house stuff around the house, and just more housekeeping stuff.
Great.
So that feels like a good intention for today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had one of those yesterday, and today I'm going camping for a couple of nights just to try to get away from the distractions and plan the next steps in my life.
Yeah, you weren't affected by the hurricanes and storms at all, were you?
Well, I was out of the country, but my area was not also.
Okay, nice. That's good. Yeah. I was thinking of everybody there because I've lived in the South, but it's been a long time. So yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so in our last conversation, you had asked me or suggested to me that I think focus on or help you focus on how you're feeling in the moment, as opposed to because you talked about I show up and I think I have to want to talk about this or this or this, and then it takes me so long to get to what's going on for me right now. And that was just an intention that we had set. So
yeah, I thank you for reminding me. I did not consciously remember talking about that, but I can feel more of that today. So yeah, the intention setting has worked really well for me lately instead of a goal or an objective. I think it works better with my brain to just be to do that. And then it kind of falls into place more. So thank you for reminding me. And yeah, I'm feeling like I can do that today and tap in more.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you like to start with some meditation?
Yeah, that would be good.
Okay. 1 minute?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll set a timer. All right. So, yeah. You can start wherever you'd like.
Well, I feel like most of the time when I do parts work, I encounter the anxious part first. Which I wonder too, the sessions where I'm kind of really talking really fast and like really trying to work it out. I feel like that's usually kind of the intellectual part, but fueled by the anxious part. So yeah, I'm noticing the anxious part is here.
All right.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great that you're meeting it at its source.
Yeah. And then in meditating, I felt really distractible.
Okay.
So spacey part is also here. It's the tried and true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good parts to get to know.
Yeah.
They're all welcome.
I think I feel kind of annoyed at these three. I'm just like, ugh, I've already met you guys. Like, we've already had conversations. Like, why are you still so forceful? But then it's like I'm just hearing kind of the response of like, well, it's what works, you know? And maybe maybe sometimes, but I don't know.
Okay. All right. We could learn more about, if they're saying it's what works.
Right. I'm
we
like,
could learn about like what are they trying to accomplish? Yes, how well does it work? And can we help them meet those needs some other way?
Yeah, I think I've been feeling really worn down by some of these parts. So I guess I would also say that I'm really tired part is also here. I can feel that. It's like those three classics and then some annoyance and some tiredness.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing. Annoyed that they're still forceful when you've already worked with them, tired and worn down by them. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Get it. So the tired and annoyed ones, what do they want us to know? Or are they willing to give some space so that we can figure out what it is that these other parts need?
Yes, definitely. I have like an image of like I don't know, it's clear in my head, but I don't know how to explain it. Like of like mechanic or something, like all these tools and things. And I don't know, I guess both those parts were like, yeah, you go in there and do something, please. Like go fix the car. Like yeah, I don't feel any resistance from those parts, just more of like that they don't know how to help.
Right. And we could thank them for waving that flag about these other parts being as strong as they are. Their concerns about that. All right.
Yeah.
So how do you feel now about turning towards any of those three classics? Anxious, distracted, spacey.
I think the annoyance is gone, totally gone. I feel like there's still this heaviness. I was like, oh, I don't feel any resistance, but I think I just feel a really big heaviness around it. Like, I don't know around what, just around the situation, I guess. Like some grief and some sadness beyond the tired, like not just tired, but like a heaviness that this is really, really heavy material, it feels like. And I think this part has a lot of stories about like my whole system, or yeah, it's holding a lot of sadness.
Okay.
And I think it's connected to a part we've talked about before, which is kind of like this part that like wants to, I don't know if we named it, but it's like this part of me that really wants to be a good person. And yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I think that's useful. I don't know. I'm a little lost, but I just feel like there's heaviness because there's been times where I feel like I've been imperfect, and there's almost like a morality or like a spiritual piece in here because I have like the concept of operating from self would really align me with who I want to be from more of a sort of a moral perspective, but it's not even just that. It's more of like, I just want to be in a certain level of peace so that I can be the self I know that I am.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some kind of moral bit to it as well, because I think of myself as a person who's really trying. So I guess there's some idealism maybe or something.
Yeah.
And then some sadness. Yeah.
Yeah. And so the sadness has to do with that those other parts maybe interfere with being self-led, being that in that ideal state.
Yeah, and it's very deep. Like, I don't even know if it's just about like me and my system. Like, I feel like it's just like this part is so heavy, like sad that we are all operating from really self-protective places and like world sadness.
Yeah.
But also how that impacts our most sacred relationships. So just feeling like, oh God. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for speaking for that part.
Yeah. I think it's been around lately. Yeah.
Okay. I'm feeling really curious about it.
Yeah, I think it already feels like, yeah, I know sometimes it's like, oh, I don't know who to give my attention to. And I like name a lot of parts and I'm like, like kind of like running around just trying to name all of them because I feel like that is sometimes that's really useful for me. And then sometimes that even feels like distractible because I don't know who to focus on.
Right.
But I think this is a part right now, at least, that seems to be benefiting from my attention.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think this part really wants to be seen, but it's really overwhelming. Like, I don't know quite how to spend time with this part without being really blended.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm like already tearing up a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe you can kind of pose that question to it. let it know that it is harder for you to spend time with it if it blends to that degree.
Okay.
But that you would like to get to know it. You can see it's been around a while and it's heavy. Maybe you could ask it what it needs from you in order to let you come to know it without overwhelming.
Yeah, I was onto something and then I got distracted.
Okay.
Yeah. I think initially I was getting some, okay. I was getting some feedback from it. And then maybe I think the judgmental part flickered in for a moment to be like, that's kind of a, like a softy, I don't know, like, when I'm being really emotional or soft, I know it's like been a really derogatory use of the word, but like I'm gay, so I'll call myself, I'll be like, oh, that's so gay, or that's like too gay. And it's like a weird way of me being like, it's too soft, like don't go in that territory. And
yeah, so it's seeing that as kind of a weakness.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that I was getting kind of a message that this is like the part was like, but I'm here because like kind of because like this is the best part of you, or a really important part of you is comes from being connected to this part or having this part, because I have the ability to be really sensitive with other people and with myself, and just in general, like I'm a very sensitive person. And I think that it was kind of telling me like, no, this is really important, because without this part, like you just like, which is fine, but I for people who are like this, but like there's a lot of people who are really like, you know, accomplished and like pushy and I don't know, just like impressive. And I feel like this part is kind of tempers a lot of that in me, and is sort of has a different values that it reminds me of. Like, yeah, that's important, but it's not the top thing.
Right.
And these feelings are maybe a more important thing. But anyway, there was something in there where I was like, that's too soft, or like vulnerable. Like I can't say that. It feels so I don't know, like, oh, that's the best part of me, like the part that's like connected to sadness. Like I was like, I don't know. Like
well, and you know, that part may think it's the best part of you, and that's great. They can all think that. I want to welcome that judgmental one and learn, you know, what it's wanting to protect you from.
Yeah.
Because you talked about like it's hard to spend time with this part, and then you have other parts coming in and saying like, okay, you know, too much. So that could be a factor in what's hard about spending time with this part.
Yeah. I think when I'm blended with this part, it does make it really hard to be in service of it.
Right.
So that I think has been something challenging lately, but I feel like I'm kind of also figuring that out in a state of just really overwhelming grief, because I don't know if having a ton of, I don't know how you view that, but like going through a phase in life where you're just grieving all the time, like how that affects parts. Like, I don't know if that's separate or I don't know, but I feel like there's just something around this part that maybe I am in my own way working with this part a little bit or trying to, but I'm having more clarity right now that, yeah, when I'm blended with it, it just I can't be as in service to it.
Right. And that's another thing that the judgmental one is trying to warn you against, is saying, hey, you're blending with it too much. That's too soft.
That's possible. Yeah, that's possible.
Okay.
But even when I'm not blended, because just now I felt like I was away from it and just hearing what it had to say. And then I blocked myself from vocalizing what it had to say because it felt too. Yeah, there's the way I would say it is it just felt too gay. So I was like,
get it.
Yeah, like, but I think when I say that to myself, I don't know, like, I've been thinking about that a lot lately because I'm like, why do I say that when there's a lot of, sorry, I feel like I need to process this because for a lot of my life, I've been like, oh, that's me reclaiming that phrase. But now I'm like, no, it still has the same like message to it that
it's not welcome.
like, right. Yeah, interesting. Well, okay, there's a really sad part of me, and then there's a part of me that's like, that's too much, or that's embarrassing. You should. I think it's like that phrase, I feel like is me being like, okay, like we know that's a part of you, but you keep that inside. Like, don't share in that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's its message. Keep that inside.
Yes, it is.
And I get it. And also, you could do that. You could still do parts work and keep it inside. So
yeah, it's true. Sometimes, okay, yeah, sometimes it is. Yeah, this is also true because there is sometimes where it's a good, like, little inner warning sign where it's like, yeah, this person right here, they might not get that, or you saying that might just make you really vulnerable in this situation. So maybe don't. Like, I think that is true that it has kept me safe and it's there for a reason. But sometimes I find myself doing that when I'm around people who will totally get it. And then I'm like, why did I hide that? Or, yeah, I don't know.
You could ask the part when you feel like you're around people who would totally get it, why does it still do that?
Yeah, I mean, it just still says that it's trying to keep me safe. I don't think it knows the difference, honestly. Like, it's kind of like, I don't know the difference.
Yeah.
And I'm just
better safe than sorry, right?
Yeah, I'm just flashing the light, and it's almost like that's your job. Like, like I'm supposed to interpret that or be like, oh, there's a light going off.
Yeah.
Like, is that accurate or not? But I guess I've just been letting the part do that. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So it would rather that be your job. It waves the flag, says this is too vulnerable, or there's some vulnerability here, and it wants you to have more clarity and leadership around should it be shared or not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
What's coming up?
I just I've had a really hard relationship with work for a while, and just was really like hurt through several work experiences, but one in particular, I've talked about it with you, but it's made money and work incredibly hard for me because I've been having a really hard time accepting opportunities that could put me in any type of situation that replicates the times that I was hurt. And I feel like yesterday I talked with a team that they do feel actually safe and nice, and like they can see this part of me that's sensitive and that it would be useful for the role. And there's still a part of me that's like coming into like I can feel myself like sabotaging it. Like in the last 24 hours, I've just been really like, it's just, yeah, it's like scary. Like, I'm like, I don't know though. Like, yeah, I feel judgmental. Like the judging part is there. And there's all this like, I'm just struggling to like trust my intuition. So there's like this mistrusting part and this like very doubtful. Because I think this is where it gets really interesting for me, because it is about sort of your protectors are literally there to protect you. So how do you, the point isn't to like not protect yourself.
Right.
Like
or to make all your parts go away.
Right. Like they're here for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm feeling kind of lost trying to interpret them all the time. And yeah.
So in this situation, there's some new people. There's a chance to be in a relationships where you're seen and maybe you can have a certain degree of vulnerability. Then you have these other warning parts saying, hold on, how do we know if that's something I can trust?
Yes. And then there's also a judgmental part that like judges that context and that work because somehow it's not like impressive enough or flashy enough or like exalted enough. I don't know, like in this idea I have of myself where my external self is not as sensitive, but is like very accomplished. Like I think I'm sort of processing like the different versions of myself that my parts like seem to want to advocate for.
Yeah.
Like certain constellations of parts or certain parts on their own, like want me to be a certain person. And then they all kind of war against each other too, which is
exactly.
So it's like, there's this set of parts, like this more judgmental part, but also I do have like the pusher and I have this, it is the judger, but like maybe the critic too. That's very like important to me, but it's sort of like wants to curate my life and it wants me to look really good and it wants like the work that I produce to look good. And I don't know. So there's this like aspect. And then even that is like sometimes like leeching off of like my like I don't know what you'd call them, like these like exiled parts that are super creative that I've like tapped into, the really like childlike parts that is like, okay, let's milk those and then make them look good. And then that's like how we protect ourselves is through these shiny endeavors. And then there's like another part that I'm trying to get to know and incorporate more that is like super sensitive and like really cares about people, and it's feeling really hard to like foray into that territory because it means I have to maybe there's like concessions that especially the critic has to make about what I look like in the world.
Okay. I'm taking notes. And you're feeling you get overwhelmed by having too many voices pulling in too many different directions, and just feel unclear when that happens.
Yeah. And somehow this feels like parts work too, but I feel like I feel like I don't know, as a young person in the digital world, it's just like there's all these different spaces where I'm like, okay, here I need to look a certain way here, and then here I need to look this way, and it just doesn't feel integrated. But then like I know that it's like I'm trying to reverse engineer it, because I'm like, I know that people who are like quote successful have a degree of integration and some degree of strategy in how they like present themselves, but I'm like going from reverse. Like I'm in this moment, I'm like realizing I feel like I'm supposed to reverse engineer it a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize I was doing that, but I think I'm operating that space a lot. So I'm like, this is what it looks like. So now we need to do this, or like, and I don't know if that's just the weirdness of being seen, but like,
yeah, this part wants to crack the code on what strategies to have success.
Yeah.
In the way it's defining it.
Yeah. And I'm exhausted with that.
Okay. I'm really curious about that part and what it does want from you, how it is defining success. I'm sure that you probably have heard and seen a lot from that part, but so you don't have to repeat it all for me, but you could ask it, what it wants from you and what it wants for you. And by understanding that really clearly, we can help it. We can bring some perspective to it.
Okay, I got a little distracted and just spaced out the window. What part are we?
That's all right. All right. And again, we don't have to go there, but
I think
my
the
curiosity
part was like, no, this is too much.
Okay. Well, there's has been quite a bit going on, and we can push pause or rewind or take a break.
No, can you just remind me what part you were asking me to focus on?
So you were talking about being kind of tired of this success part, and it's trying to reverse engineer the digital world and how to be successful.
Yeah.
And I was curious about learning more about what it wants, what success is for it.
Okay, the part that's trying to reverse engineer things.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I think it might be the critic. Potentially. It's the critic, but it's also, okay, I think I have a lot of judgment towards the critic. It's like a critic and then a critic that's criticizing the critic. So I think I just was like, no, like I just went none of that. And that seemed to work, like just reminding myself that there's nothing, no bad parts or whatever seems to not apply to my relationship with the critic. So I'm like, okay, like how can I view this part as really helpful? And I feel like I want to like rename this part.
Yeah. Okay.
Or something. Like I feel like this part is like a curator. You know, this part looks at stuff and it's like, oh, it's not quite right. Let's adjust it. Or it's like, it wants like things to look nice and that's what it's trying to do is to.
Okay. We can just learn from it.
Okay. So
what it wants to be called and what its goals are and what it wants you to know.
Cause I feel like when I zoomed out a little bit, it's like, yeah, there is this more critical part, but the part that's wanting to reverse engineer, like sometimes I just think of parts and also groups of parts. So I feel like when I'm reverse engineering, I'm recruiting like the critic, but also this problem solver part of me.
Yes.
And sometimes the critic and the problem solver work really well together.
Right.
And sometimes they need space. Like sometimes I need the critic to go into the fucking lobby, the lounge, chill out with its fancy things and just sit there so that the problem solver can kind of truly take things apart and rework them. Because if the critic is in the room, then that part is so stressed that every move needs to look nice.
Yes.
And it's like we can't we need to be not witnessed in this space, and then maybe I'll work it out. Like there's not even.
So the judgment of the critic makes a lot of sense to me.
This is like, like this is reminding me of like building a loom. Like I was like building a loom for someone recently. And I was like, I just need you to like go in the other room because this is really complicated. And then I figured it out because like, so that's exactly what it feels like.
Yeah. And what I'm suggesting is that we do the opposite here, where we try to get alone with this critic in the room, this one that wants that type of success, and learn about it.
Okay. Okay. I'm feeling so annoyed.
Annoyed with it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like what?
It's annoying because it pushes around the other parts. It tells them they're not good enough. It pushes you towards success that other parts aren't interested in or they see as superficial, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes sense why parts would be annoyed with it. And
it's also
I'm not disagreeing with any of those things. So my goal is to understand it, you know?
Yeah.
To let's get close to it and see what it needs. And maybe it can relax in the way that it pushes so much.
Okay. Yeah, I think I have a really strong desire for the system to be more functional. Because I know when I'm in more of a flow state, like in a moment, but also in my life, when I'm making choices that sort of balance a lot of parts of myself, and like I'm just structuring things so that I'm engaging with all of these parts and satisfying them in similar ways, then I get into this like smooth, like they just feel more satiated.
Yes.
Because I've been thinking lately about how, like, why I struggle so much when my life is falling apart. and why, when things are going really well, it's like so chill. And I feel like that is a big part of it. Because in the kind of at the demolition site where shit's just like everywhere on the ground, like all these parts are like just, of course, they're really loud because they want me to build something that works for them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, I don't know, just advocating for slightly different things. And I'm feeling like I would like to meet all of their needs, but I'm just like, I have this feeling right now that's not even tired because I think I'm in a place of self, but I'm just sort of like curious about how to do it. But aware that I don't always know how to do it.
Right.
Yeah. Yes.
We can meet whatever part feels right to meet. Again, my intuition and curiosity is towards that critic.
Yeah, I think I'm doing the spacey thing, but actually right now I'm seeing it as useful. I'm like, okay, like there's times when I get really spacey, but the function of that was for me to zoom out and look at it with a metaphor and like see the whole thing.
Great.
And I am now ready and slightly less irritated to talk with the critic.
Okay. Cool. Let it know that.
Okay.
And let it know that you've done that work to try to make that space for it.
It's always wanting to be sitting in some lush, lavish situation. Like we're still at the demolition site and there's concrete and debris and it's just sitting in the fucking lounge chair that I first put it in when we first talked to the critic like months ago.
Okay.
Like it has its little eyeglasses on and it's like, look, there's like dust on the chair.
Yeah. You could let it know that you can meet with it anywhere.
Okay.
And we're going to try to ask any judgmental parts to stay out and let this part have its own space.
Okay.
Where would it like to meet?
Yeah, it's like this shit's not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it wants to be somewhere clean, preferably. And
Clean and classy.
clean and classy. I don't even know if it needs anything high end. It just likes simplicity sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, it wants to be looking at a sunset. And it doesn't want a lot of wind. So I guess we're behind a window.
Okay. Does it feel like the other parts are messy?
Yes.
Yeah. So it makes sense to you?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Can let it know that that makes sense.
Yeah, this part is so, in its own way, this part is creative, you know, or like, I guess maybe it's also my relationship with it in this moment is like, oh, this is a source of creativity, or this is like a way I know how to be creative, because this part is when I give it attention, I do start laughing at it, is the funny thing. Like when I have these other parts are judging it, it's like putting it down, like that critic, like nobody likes the critic, like, you know, but when I actually talk to it, I find it to be so funny. Like its requests are so like absurd sometimes and so clear.
Yeah. Yeah. I was hearing like it wants to be creative. It's trying to create a successful life for you.
Yeah, it is. It's very smart. Like this part is super, super smart. Yeah.
Yeah. What does it want you to know?
Yeah, it does want me to know it's trying to help me, and it's aware of other people's perception, and it has a perspective on how to manage that.
Mm-hmm. And it sees that as really important because it's other people's perceptions that are going to be the difference between your success and your not success in its view, right?
Yeah. I don't know. Right now, the energy I'm getting from it is that it's down to be more collaborative with these parts. Like it's kind of like when I'm looking at it, it's when I really spend time with it, it's not, it's kind of nice. But I guess it's kind of like, I don't know, maybe it's been taking, yeah, it feels like it's been taking a bit of a burden, or like it feels like it's sort of been allowing it to have a bad rap. You know, like it's like people can think really badly about me, but like I'm here still doing my job, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of like very like, and I'm good at it, so I'm gonna keep doing it. Like like it's very, but not in like a mean way. It's just like
it doesn't have bad intentions.
No, and then actually I think it feels a little bit lonely because it's kind of like, you know, it is really trying to help, and then it doesn't always feel recruited by the rest of the team. Yeah, I guess it would be a little bit lonely to need to wait in the lounge a lot of the time. But I think it does need to be there more, you know, like it needs to be there a lot. And I only really need it to come in sometimes, but like I do need it to be available all the time. And it's like saying like, yeah, I got that, but I need the lounge to look really fucking nice while I sit there in it. Like,
okay. Yeah, just let it know that you see that it's lonely. Show it appreciation for its intention.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I can do that. Ugh. Yeah, it's telling me right now that I have all of these like kind of judging, like I'm judging it, you know? Like I don't know. I think maybe there's two different parts or something, because I feel like this part feels so meta right now. Is this the judging part? I just felt really judgmental of this part, and you were saying, can you let that go? And then it came back in.
Yeah, we talked about the judge of the critic.
Oh my God. Okay, well, I think that there's a really clear like part here, the critic. And now I'm like, is there really an additional judge? But it's kind of trying to tell me that I have it pegged a little bit inaccurately. Like,
yes,
it's like you think that I just want everything to look so nice and like yada yada, but actually, like, that's not true. Like, I'm an intellectual. Like, it's like, it's kind of, I was saying it's smart, but it is really smart. I feel like, and it's like, I don't necessarily, it's basically saying right now, I don't necessarily want to use like this skill for negative intentions. Like, it's like, this skill could be used for any aim. Like, it doesn't have to be this. We don't have to judge judge it. Like, yeah, a lot of people could use this for in a not a
Right.
bad way, but like a meaningless way. But you don't have to. You could
Yeah,
use
just
this. Right.
okay. So
Yeah.
that's its ideal, is to be used in a meaningful way, to not be
Yeah,
judged by the rest of your parts.
exactly. It's like it's kind of telling me that it's like I'm down to be in service of this whole thing. Like it wants to be used uniquely by me. It doesn't want to be used in the ways that maybe like I see other people using what I think this part is.
Right.
Um
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and it's kind of explaining to me like it doesn't want to be in a it doesn't want to sit in a fancy lounge. I feel like it just wants wow, it's more intellectual than I thought, I think. It wants to appreciate the beauty of things, and it's kind of like open to do that in more spaces than I thought maybe.
Yeah.
But sometimes things need to be a little bit drilled down and simplified
Put in order.
in order to appreciate the beauty.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't actually need things to be like that. Like, it doesn't need things to be fancy. It doesn't need things to be, it's not like that.
Right.
I feel like it's not as pretentious as I thought maybe it was.
Right.
Oh gosh. I think this part maybe exists just to counteract my spaciness. Cause it's kind of like, oh my God. It's basically like it just likes things to be a little simpler, please. I think that's an overall message. Like it's like saying I want you to try to make things a bit simpler when you can, because it allows me to appreciate the beauty, and then you can show other people the beauty as well. And that is a part of me. So yeah, that
makes sense. It also makes sense. You were talking earlier about like reverse engineering success. That's finding what are the key steps here that we need to take to get to something beautiful. Right. It's kind of trying to let's simplify.
Oh, yeah. It is. It is trying to do that.
Yeah. What does it need from you going forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're close to it already, but it would like to be recruited and heard quicker and more accurately. Without that judgment.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it does want to be understood a little bit more when it comes in. As it's like its willingness to be more of a team player, and its overall what it's trying to do. Yeah. Yeah, I'm having a hard time focusing. Can I can I take a break for like 2 minutes and come back?
Absolutely.
Would that be okay? Okay.
That'd be great.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
Okay, I'm back. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that I already feel like I know a little bit more about it. So I'm trying to think about if it has a request. But I don't know if it has an exact request for me to do something. I mean, just off the bat, I think even maybe the last time, I feel like it was last time we talked, that it was at the end, there was some part that was like, maybe kind of similar. That was like, can you just make things more simple? Or like, can you go clean can you just go clean?
Yep. We talked about that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's so interesting. That I feel like I'm arriving at a similar place where I'm like, oh,
yeah.
I've been making shit too complicated. And it's weird because I think sometimes the judging, like sometimes it's like the critic and the judging, like they're like ping ponging, and then my anxiety is like, blah, and my spacey part is going, and then I'm doing like multiple, like I'm trying to succeed in like 5 directions, and my system's like bugging out.
Yeah.
And then I get exhausted, and I'm like, we have to reevaluate this, guys. Like, we have to give up on something. It's like, what happens? And I sort of don't want to do that as much, like those cycles I go through, and just like it's like not very sustainable.
Yeah.
Because right now I'm like, maybe the message is not that I have to do everything I do perfectly, but that I just need to simplify. Like I need to move slower, and that's so hard. Like it's so hard to do, but I feel like this part is saying that if I'm rushing, I'm not going to have time to listen to it or like parts in general. So it's going to get messy.
Yeah. I have a question about something from much earlier in our conversation.
Okay.
Does any of this connect to when, and you can ask the part, when you were trying to come to know the heavy part, the grief part, and you got this message of this is soft, this is gay?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
I think I can like run. I can just run. Like I'm running, I run away from that part of myself. And sometimes I'm not even going anywhere.
Yeah. So maybe check that out with this part, this one that wants to be heard and respected and has the ambitions and wants the simple success, and see what it needs in order to give you space to work with parts like that other one.
I mean, I don't know if this is just too big, but I think my whole system has been under a lot of stress with stuff around money. So, I mean, the first thing that grouping of parts was saying is just like, well, when we're resourced, it's a little easier, but
right.
So I guess they're definitely trying to do that for me, and in the best way they know how.
Yeah.
Yeah. When they're saying, what do we need? Or if I'm asking, what do you need? And their answer is to be resourced.
Right.
It's hard because I'm kind of telling them, well, unfortunately, like I'm not doing, unfortunately
We don't have that right now.
We might not be hitting some benchmarks for that. Like we're trying and I'm supporting myself in all the ways I know how. But yes, we're not hitting those benchmarks right now. So it's like kind of like if I can't tangibly do that, then I don't know what else to offer them. It's because I think my system's like waiting, right? Like when I'm resourced, when I'm okay, then we'll chill, then we'll all
makes sense.
But I don't. But right now I'm like, well, I'm curious about how I can access that state of us working together, because if I'm so rushed, this house I'm building is going to be super haphazard.
Yeah.
And it already is honestly like that. It's not even a fully demolished house. It's like a very haphazard, weird structure.
Yeah. Let them know ask them if they see that, if they see what you're saying of like, okay, it makes sense that these parts are saying, hey, let's get the resources before we do all this other messy work. My words, the grieving and the working with those other parts.
Yeah, but I think I've been so focused on what I'm lacking that I'm not seeing that I've been so focused on what I don't have and what I'm lacking, which I get it. It's reasonable. I've been really scared, but also there's a kind of like resourcefulness that I know I can access in my system when I do listen to all the parts better.
Yeah.
And this is where I can get a bit judgmental with myself because I'm like, why are we not, but I'm trying to hold myself with more grace and be like, yeah, it's really extra hard right now because things are scary, but there's still possibility to tap into this.
Yeah. So what do they think about that? When you say all that, you say, yeah, okay, I get it. It's hard. And part of my resources are my own parts that need my attention.
Yeah.
How do they feel about you doing that? Or what do they need to allow for some of that?
Oh. Oh, honestly, I'm getting just so many messages. I'm having a hard time filtering them out into words. I'm hearing like, we just need you to let things happen. I'm hearing like, I don't know. I don't know where I'm getting a mess. I don't know who's talking. I'm just hearing, I just need to let things happen. I need to let things look a little bit weird, as long as they're like simple. Like I want to let a simpleness unfold that looks different and let it look different. Yeah.
Earlier I asked if this part felt like the other parts were messy.
Yeah.
Is that connected? Is it saying like, hey, what if like your parts work was simple? What if, if you could go to a sad part without being overwhelmed by it and do that in a simpler way, is that what it's pointing to at all, or in the same ballpark?
Yeah, maybe. I think it has to do with some decision making, which is, I think, where some of my parts can get really tripped up.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of decisions to be made all the time right now. And I'm in a really unstructured place in my life trying to create structure. And that can be one of the hardest contexts for me. Sometimes I need like a little bit of, I even just need four walls. And then sometimes I'm like, the ambiguity can be really great. But when it's like totally structureless, I do struggle a little bit with decision making. So yeah, I need some like constraints, and then I have to basically allow myself to define the constraints right now, and that's what's hard.
It is hard.
I definitely think today I learned that this critic, or this almost like, I'm not sure what to name this part, but this part has a really clear like persona and request and voice and everything. And that part is different than maybe a judging part.
Yeah.
I don't think I recognized they were two separate things because I was glomming them into one thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure what your question was, but that felt like it needed to be said. And there's something about simplicity that I'm trying to figure out the action sort of associated with that, like how I can put that into practice. But I think I do have a clearer sense of like, we need to make simple decisions or allow for simplicity or the easy path, or even if I have like judgmental thoughts about it, because yeah, I'm not quite making sense out loud, but I think it feels like it makes sense.
It feels like it makes sense to me.
Okay.
I think your system is very akin to mine, and so maybe that's why it all feels like it makes sense to me. Yeah.
Okay. How does it make sense to you?
Well, I don't know. That's so often where I'm arriving with my ambitious parts is their need for simplicity, and that's where self can help them, is through simplicity. And something that I was kind of asking about just a moment ago was, is there simplicity in parts work that could also help? The reason we ended up with this part was because it interjected when you tried to work with a heavy grieving part. And I have my own systems, my own simplicity and messiness in my own. How do I work with parts in me that are like that? And had to have those same conversations with my ambitious, successful parts, or my parts saying this is gay.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, I think my answer kind of ended up being the same of, well, if I can simplify it.
Yeah, there's a certain feeling of self-assuredness and like even safety that comes from doing it simply. Like I feel like when I satisfy that piece, then there is the sensitive part. Like I can do that. I can do work, I suppose, or I can build a structure, or like whatever it is in my decision making that satisfies this softer part of me, so long as it's simple. Because if I can bring the beauty to it, or if I can see the beauty and I can also show that to other people, then that's a weird form of self-protection, because it outlines what I'm doing, like to myself and to other people, as being understandable. And I think that does bring a sense of like acceptance, or people understanding your value, or I don't know. At least for me, that seems like it makes sense. I'm sure there's lots of other ways one could go about it, but it's just making sense right now.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah.
Okay. It's also, at the end of our last conversation, there was the request to like, how do we simplify our work? And we had an intention, and we did it.
Yeah.
So sorry to bring everything back to IFS, but
No, yes. Yeah, I think I want to maybe do some homework or something with, I don't know if it's with the judging part, or just understanding what that is, because I guess I feel like multiple times in my life I've built structures, I'll just call them like dwellings, so to speak, that are really beautiful. And people see them, from the outside, they look really beautiful, and they sort of shelter me with this beauty. And then people can come inside and they look really beautiful inside, and I can host, like, there's this, and then shit happens, and it's gone, and I have to build it again.
Yeah.
And I've done it like several times. And I think I might just be at a point where I'm a bit tired, because I feel like I'm always trying to bring like some old concepts of the previous designs forward.
Right.
And it's almost like I've tweaked and reiterated, and it's like the best. And I just lost what felt like the best design,
Yeah.
And so now I'm like, well, fuck. Like, I think my whole system just kind of wants to build something totally different. But that means that I have to let go of all of this judgment that has worked in the past, or I guess worked is in quotes, where the judgment has led to this like perfect, idealized whatever that maybe actually had also some flaws, or maybe just I changed and like it no longer felt good to move in, or I have no idea. But like, I know I don't want to just build the same thing over again. Maybe I'm just bored and I just don't want to. I don't know. So I feel like I just need something totally different, and I have to allow myself to not view, it's like as I'm creating something new, I don't want to view it through the blueprint of all the stuff before. Like sometimes that's been super helpful, but I don't think that's where I'm at anymore. Yeah. So I think I need to maybe work on something with that judging part. I can see what it's trying to do, and maybe I'm requesting that in this round we don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or in order not to exile it, understand it, let it have its voice.
Okay.
But yeah, to have that self-leadership.
Yeah, that's what it is. I just want to have the choice to, because I think right now I've been really wrestling with it a lot, or maybe I've been feeling like, yeah, there's judgment on judgment on judgment. The judgment part is so meta. Like, I've judged myself for judging myself for just like too much. So I feel like that's maybe something to think about for next time, or for me to think about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Feel like a good place to stop.
Yeah.
All right. Great work.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we have another call scheduled, right?
I think so, yes.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay. Best of luck.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
Bye.
Do you want to help bring more self-energy to the world? If you'd like to participate in calls or help out with this project in any way, I'd love to hear your ideas. Join the Discord server or contact me at james@liveifs.com. A huge thanks to our audio engineer, Yvonne, for your care and diligence in editing the calls. To every caller for your courage in sharing some of your parts. And to anyone out there getting to know their internal system, keep going. Who knows? That might be the most selfless, helpful thing you can do for others, and you're the only one who can do it. If you'd like to see us reach the largest audience, we must please the almighty suggestion algorithms at iTunes and YouTube. And they don't care about the power of IFS. They're looking for likes and shares and comments, and the sooner the better. Follow the links in the show notes right here in your podcast player to make your wishes known. And now, a minute of meditation. Or if you prefer, pull over. You can do it in 60 seconds. Just click one of those links. They're right there, and give us a like or a 5-star rating. It would really help. If you think this project is helping people, you're helping people by sharing it. Thank you.